also meets our needs.
All right.
Specifics.
Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. And I don't know if the chef is still in the room, but good job on the food. I think we've overcome that hurdle finally. And we're doing well on that. So if he's not here, please pass along. I enjoyed it anyways. Welcome, everybody. And if the chaplain can get us started with a quick invocation, we will. There you are. I was looking for you in front row. Well, whatever.
I invite you to pray with me. Creator and ever-present God, as we pause in this moment, help us to be mindful of the unique gifts and graces we each possess. We find ourselves in the company of friends and colleagues who share a passion to care for the people of Chattanooga and beyond. Within each person here is the light of the divine, with gifts and talents different than ours, important as we seek to solve the challenges, to bring healing and hope, to help us encourage people and families of our area. Though the work is challenging on some days, it's in those times when our gifts and faith are most needed for creative solutions for complex challenges that brings meaningful and lasting change. With our eyes closed and our bodies quiet, help us to care for the light of the divine within each of us. Calm our busy minds and bodies so that we can rediscover the sacredness of life's stories and family connections. Renew our energy through the loving relationships that bring smiles to our lips, tears to our eyes, and hopes to our hearts. Oh God, we thank you for the successes of this past year. Strengthen our faith now for the tasks that lie before us. In confidence, we offer this prayer that our souls will be grounded in kindness and grace. Amen.
Thank you. Everyone has the agenda, and I think we got it yesterday, so everyone hopefully has had some time to review it and prepare. And we actually have two guests, if there's anybody else, but I know we have two that I want to welcome. Matt is the new Chief Strategy Officer, is that correct? Yes. Welcome to the team. Joined this past week. He's actually a PhD candidate that defended your dissertation when? Tuesday evening, and it went well?
Yes.
Okay, great, awesome, congratulations.
They called him Dr. Gibson.
All right, we can call you Dr. Gibson. All right. Well, we finally have some letters behind names here in the room, so that's good. And we actually have a new board member joining us, Sheila Boynton. If you can let me embarrass you for just a second, I'm going to read just a little bit. If you didn't read the news, everyone kind of has to go through this, so just so everyone knows who you are. Sheila is the president of an education technology company, Thinking Media. Thinking Media is a creator, and correct me if any of this is wrong. I got this from the paper, so they get things wrong. If they did, let me know. Thinking Media is the creator of Learning Blade, a STEM career awareness system, ACT's Keytrain system for WorkKey, Picture R for health literacy, and CharacterEd.net for K-12 character education. She currently serves as a national senior advisor to STEM Connector and a national states chair for Million Women Mentors, which leads national efforts for promoting women in STEM careers. You can read there. She's been involved in a lot of really great things in our community and around the country. So we are, as we all know, this is a small board. We get to know each other really well. We spend a lot of time together, and having someone like Sheila with us is going to be awesome. So please join me in welcoming her to the board. Special presentation tonight from Kevin and the team. One of the cool things about this organization is some of the stuff that our team gets involved with, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, but we know our team always does really, really good work when they get called. Kevin, can you tell us a little bit more?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much, and I'm pleasured to at least present us with Ray Caldwell. He is a clinical-based supervisor here for LifeForce, but he is also representing many, many employees, and I feel compelled to read each employee's name who served this country and went and were deployed to Texas and Houston, and then later to Miami, and then unfortunately more of us are being deployed to Puerto Rico. So these people put themselves in harm's way, and I think it's important for us to acknowledge their service. I am issuing every one of the employees a letter of commendation for themselves in their file to acknowledge their service. And I'm going to ask, before I read the names, Mr. Caldwell, if you could please approach us and tell a brief history of what it was like to be representation of Erlanger in a national response.
Sure. Thank you, guys. Thank you all very much for the opportunity to speak. I was able to, by the grace of Erlanger Health System and Erlanger Life Force, in behalf of our partners, Medtrans Corporation is our aviation partner, was able to participate in the efforts to evacuate the victims from Hurricane Harvey down in Houston, Texas. We were a part of a very large effort. 29 fixed-wing aircraft and 25 rotor-wing aircraft were all deployed to the area to evacuate, I think, over 1,500 hospital people that were actually stranded and victimized by the flooding and all the other damage that had occurred. So we went down to San Antonio. Initially was our first place we were based at because it was just out of the danger or area and the damage zone. We sent from here initially sent 4 crews with 2 pilots and one of our Life Force aircraft down to assist in the efforts. Everything was successful. We got nothing but accolades from everyone involved, from FEMA and Medtrans, our aviation partner, as our crews performed in an outstanding measure in all aspects, not just patient flights, but also logistics and day-to-day duties and what have you. So in true Erlanger fashion, we represented very well and got a lot of comments from our fellow Texans and the people that we were able to help.
So Ray, on behalf of the Erlanger Board of Directors and the entire hospital, we're awarding you with this letter of commendation for your actions. I am going to list the names, and I will leave the media a copy, but I really want to acknowledge Kelly Duplo, Bren Luke, James Ballou, Gerald Bisbee, Thurman Corazon, Mary Beth Houston, Kenny Botts, and Heidi Spector. Ray Caldwell, who just was there, Kevin Womack, Cynthia Schulmanhor, Rodney Parker, Robin House, Karen Maloney, Derek Ball, Seth Gentry, no relation, James Parker, Tina Biggs, Brad Simmons, Lee Girardi. I also want to acknowledge everybody, our employees, and the Tennessee 1 DMAT team led by Teddy Rogers and Christy Westmoreland. As a retired commander of the New York team, I know what it's like to lead a team of DMAT in a really devastated area, and these people put their selves in harm's way for us. And I formally acknowledge them, and I am going to give you a copy of the list of names so we can be appropriately acknowledged. Everybody will receive a letter of commendation as well.
Kevin, was that one helicopter?
And we sent 1 helicopter but 2 complete crews.
And how did the crews get down there?
The crews arrived by Medtrans corporate aircraft. They were rapidly needed on scene. Our aircraft departed out of Chattanooga on Sunday morning and arrived down there 5 hours later. Our crews were flown on a King Air down, and then the support staff, which was myself and Lee Girardi initially, drove one of the Erlanger vehicles down.
They're evacuating people from where?
From Houston, Texas. and
In their homes or hospitals or where?
Hospitals primarily,
And taking them where?
taking them to outlying hospitals.
That were working.
Yes, that we're working in out of
Very good.
Congratulations.
Yeah, she said
Well, thank you again from all of us on the board. That's, we do great work here, but it's awesome to know that we can go and help and do great work other places. And best of luck to everybody on the team that's headed to Puerto Rico. All right, we're trying to get Jennifer here on the phone, but, all right. Jennifer? Are you there, Jennifer?
I am here. Can you hear me?
We can. We are just moving into the committee reports. So you made
Excellent. Thank you so much.
you made it in time. Thanks for joining. Well, don't want to skip review of the minutes. Everyone has received the minutes. If we're comfortable with them and don't see any need for adjustment, I will entertain any edits or a motion to put the minutes in the permanent record.
Move to approve.
Second?
Motion and a second. All in favor of recording the minutes as they are? Any opposed or abstaining? Thank you very much. We'll move on to committee and subcommittee reports. Mr. Haas, the Budget and Finance Committee. Did y'all-
Budget and Finance Committee met on Monday. We received the annual audit report from the hospital's auditors, PYA out of Knoxville.
That's correct.
And Doug Arnold, their partner in charge of the audit, gave us quite a discussion, quite a bit of information, quite a discussion concerning that. I'd like to make some comments about that, if I could. I'd like to just point out that at this point in time, at the end of June, Erlanger was approaching $700 million of assets. That's a very significant number, and if you think about the assets that will be coming online during this year, we will be well over $700 million at that point. Our equity position in those $700 million of assets is roughly $265 million. And so our equity continues to grow and get bigger. Our audit was extremely well managed and handled very well this year. We were able to, we being the hospital accounting staff, was able to provide all the information and answers to questions and everything that the auditors wanted to know. We ended up that audit without any adjustments whatsoever. And that's very unusual, particularly for an organization the size of this. So, Britt, your staff, Pam Barnell, and all the rest of the accounting staff deserve a great big round of applause. Thank you. I'd like to, if I can, I'd like to just make these comments. The Budget and Finance Committee is pleased with the results achieved in fiscal year 2017 and has total confidence in management's ability to continue delivering exceptional performance. Management has shown that they can not only develop effective strategy, but also execute on strategy while managing multiple large projects. I want to also mention that the health system achieved another clean opinion. That's an accounting term or auditor term about the report that we got on our financial statements. A clean opinion with no audit adjustments from the external auditors. This is a true reflection on the level of professionalism and competency within our health system, and that the finance team is delivering accurate financial information to our board on an ongoing basis. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Haas. As someone who struggles to get his taxes done just for himself every year, Britt, you're doing it for a few thousand people and entities. That's very, very impressive. Thank you. Congratulations. Dr. Sizemore, joint conference, did y'all
The
meet?
joint conference did not meet in August or September, but we plan to meet October 10th.
Okay, thank you very much. The planning committee did not meet. Audit and compliance, Ms. Griffin?
We, since Doug came and talked to Budget and Finance, we've moved our meeting to next month, so we did not meet this
Okay, thank you. Mr. Webb's not here, but Jeff, did legal meet?
No committee meetings.
Okay, thank you. Jennifer, did MBEC meet?
We did not meet this month, but we will meet next month.
Okay, thank you very much. And the executive committee did meet on, as we do on a regular basis with Kevin and the team. And Kevin will update on the progress. I have one note. Does everyone have their THA certification with them? Yes, everyone should have this in front of them. This is a form, all the board members should. If you don't, get one from Kitty. These are certifications. Read through them. Make sure you understand them before you sign them. But it's basically just keeping our board in good standing, and it has to do with the commitment level and very self-explanatory. Once you're comfortable and have read it, sign it and bring them back to Kitty, and Kevin and I will do our thing on there as well. But try and get that done. Pay attention to everything we're doing. Don't read it during this meeting, but at some point, read it and get it back to us today. With that, I don't know, do we have any unfinished business for anybody? Did we miss anything, or anyone want to add anything? With that, we will move to the consent calendar. Do we have anything on the consent calendar tonight?
Yes.
We do, yes. 5 items on the consent calendar. If everyone is comfortable with the consent calendar, I will look for a motion to move forward on voting on the consent calendar.
So move.
And a second? All in favor of passing the consent calendar for the evening? Aye. Any opposed?
I know it doesn't count, but I was voting.
Jennifer, you're wonderful, and we always put it in the record.
Thank you.
With that, the consent, or any opposed or abstaining? Sorry. With that, the consent calendar passes, and we will move on to Sheila. Just as your first board meeting, we have these informational items. We don't do anything with them, but if you have any questions, you can follow up with Britt and his team and dig in there at your heart's leisure. With that, Dr. Sizemore, your report for the evening?
As a follow-up from my past comments, the medical staff still working on amending the bylaws, and hope to have that done by November and then bring it forward to the board following that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Medical staff bylaws.
Right. Dr. Shack?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Studer. Just a brief report from the Dean's office. Just to bring the board up to speed, we currently have 63 medical students and 5 PA students on campus, and that will go up to 65 and 5 next month when the next block of rotations begins. So that's a big number, and that number has been growing constantly over the last few years, so that we're bumping up against 70 students on this campus at any given time, and that's a great thing. That's over and above the 100 and almost 90 residents we have on site at all times. The other two things that are going on that the board needs to be aware of are the 2 search committees that are currently active. One for the pediatric chair position, and that person will also serve as the chief medical officer of Children's Hospital. We've identified 4 very good candidates, 2 of which have already been on campus for interviews. The other 2 are scheduled in the next week to 10 days to come on campus. We should be able to invite our favorite ones back for a second round of interviews and then make a final decision to present to me and Mr. Spiegel to make the final choice. The other committee is the search committee for the Associate Dean for Research on this campus. That individual will also be the medical director of the Erlanger Research Institute, so it'll be a joint appointment as well. Dr. Jackson and I have discussed this at some length, and we have 3 viable candidates that we're going to invite to campus for interviews in the next couple of weeks. In looking at their CVs, they may or may not be fits for us, and so we may have to extend the search beyond these 3, but the 3 are very good. It's just whether or not they'll be the right people for us. And so we'll know that after we've had a chance to interview them in person. And that will be wrapped up hopefully by the end of October. And that's the end of my report. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
No, as always, as you're recruiting people, if there's anything the board can do to help, let us know.
I will,
We-
thank
We
you.
love bringing good people
Well,
to join the
We've got
team.
some
We've-
good people identified, we
Yeah.
just got to lure them, and luring them to Chattanooga is not that difficult, I
Well,
will say.
it's probably easier than it used to be. So but if there's anything we can do to help, please let us know.
Well, thank you, sir.
That's really important. Mr. Spiegel, your report for the evening.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I do have a presentation, as this is the year-end. Do I have the clicker? Here you go. Oh, thank you.
It's not just one slide?
Unfortunately, I have many slides. But I think it
Can we say something about your socks first?
Oh, sure, you can. I have Erlanger socks on.
I only need one sock right now. I didn't even get one sock?
That wasn't the only one.
Actually, they're available for auction after the meeting. The Believe campaign.
Thank you. Thank you. But I do like Erlanger socks. I should have my Erlanger tie on, which Mike and I usually.
Sheila's got a scarf.
Oh, you have the scarf on.
There you go.
That's great. So really want to talk high level about what has been accomplished this year. Strong market share growth. Erlanger is approaching 40% of the market. It's an all-time record in Erlanger's history. THA data places Erlanger in the #1 position 4 years in a row. Significant investment in quality. Committed more resources to quality and patient safety through the health system, and we've improved key metrics surrounding length of stay, readmission, and adjusted mortality. Funded in excess of $100 million in Erlanger's largest capital investment in a clinical informatics system, eChart, which is Epic, enhancing patient safety and quality outcomes. Progress in strategic position, Erlanger East expanded to 107 beds, initiated construction of the Children's Ambulatory Center, and Erlanger Behavioral Health Hospital, opened the surgical admitting unit, expanded medical surgical ICUs by 12 state-of-the-art suites, and added 6 helicopter in North Carolina, and will be opening the Heart and Lung Institute in February of 18. We have continued financial success. We met all bond covenants and exceeded all the bond covenants. And we did this through organic growth. The health system grew its net revenue by $61 million in fiscal 17 to a record level of $886 million, and has increased its net revenue by 51% over 4 years. Net equity, that was what Mr. Haas was talking about, net equity, the net value of our company increased from $208 million to $226 million in this past year. We are the sole provider of essential services to the region, the only academic medical center within 100 miles, the only children's hospital within 100 miles, the only level 1 pediatric and adult trauma center in Southeast Tennessee, certified as a level 1 trauma center in Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee, 6 multi-state Life Force air ambulances, comprehensive regional pediatric centers, ER, PICU, and the only level 4 nursery in Southeast Tennessee. The region's only emergency cardiac and stroke center, with a 4th largest interventional stroke center in the United States based on MedPAR data. The only accredited comprehensive stroke center in East Tennessee by Joint Commission, and certified chest pain center and AMI center by Joint Commission. We're rated as one of the largest public hospitals in the United States by Modern Healthcare, and the 7th largest emergency department by volume in Modern Healthcare. And we recently received a certification as a Joint Commission accredited hip and knee services for a certificate of distinction from Joint Commission. We have 7 campuses and 901 beds, and on the bottom is new to the slide, Erlanger Behavioral Health Hospital. As we start expanding through the region, we have 10 executed affiliation agreements with hospitals, and we're working on 4 more. So it is expanding our reach, and we're serving not only Hamilton County, but the entire region. We've introduced robotic heart and lung surgery to this community and the region. We opened new integrated operating suites at the Children's Hospital and achieved designation as a certified patient-centered medical home for all of our primary care practices. CMS selected Erlanger Primary Care Practices for participation in a program called CPC Plus as a model of care nationally. HRSA awarded us $8.7 million grant for our efforts in our community health centers. And we successfully implemented eChart, which is Epic, on the outpatient side for the Erlanger Medical Group. And the result of implementing that was we actually collected more money than we did through the paper model. We completed a state-of-the-art infusion center, modernized dialysis, and achieved a 3-year accreditation from Joint Commission on their new standards. And we developed an innovative commercial product with Cigna that includes Erlanger only product and the Erlanger Medical Group and select community physicians. And what this is going to bring to the community starting January 1 is the lowest cost product, which is another economic accelerator. So you want to move your business to Chattanooga because it will lower the cost of insurance. The Children's Hospital strategic plan is way underway. We've added pediatric satellites to Erlanger East Hospital, Dalton, Cleveland, Manchester, and McMinnville. The new Children's Hospital ambulatory care building, as everybody can see, it's unbelievable. It's a total cost of $40 million. We raised $600,000 at the Believe Bash alone. Total gifts and pledges to date have been $14 million. We did from the original bond financing 11.5, and we've received 24.3 million gifts to date. So what is missing is 4.2 million. This is probably the most successful philanthropic campaign in this history, not only about Erlanger, but I'm talking about Chattanooga. So this is unbelievable.
Kevin, can I stop and just add one thing there on that?
Absolutely.
As an organization that didn't have a whole lot of philanthropic giving coming in 5 years ago, I think Julie and Bruce, I don't know, y'all both here, y'all, there they are, and Jed and everybody on the team, that's not just good work. That would be good work if we already had a program in place, but we kind of
Never.
bootstrapped that from nothing.
And-
So I think that's... And in a city that's very philanthropic, but has a lot of other capital campaigns going on.
At the same
It's
time.
tough out there right now, so, thank you.
Thank you. So Erlanger East strategic plan, $50 million expansion, opened in December of 16, on time, on budget, and it was probably one of the most amazing things that we had a pro forma. The thing was under budget, on time, and became cash flow positive within 90 days. That is kind of unheard of in our business. Opened 4 additional ORs, 12 additional patient rooms in women's services, opened in 2000 a multi-purpose lab for cardiac cath in IR, comprehensive breast center, cancer center, outpatient surgery, and linear accelerator are in the works. We received a hotel-like environment award from the Healthcare Facilities Symposium Award of Distinction, and the 5-year net project projection of $21.9 million. And again, we were cash flow positive in 90 days. Thanks to everybody that was at the new Comprehensive Cancer Center groundbreaking. But again, this project is up and running, and it is a new phase, and it's going to be unbelievable. A lot of activity going on in Erlanger North, Bledsoe, and Sequatchie Valley as we continue. The Behavioral Health Hospital is a $25 million project on the corner of Holtzclaw and Citigo, and that is also under construction right now. And we are planning on employing another 200 new employees just at that site alone. Treatment for adults, adolescents, children, inpatient, partial hospital, outpatient, and a discrete unit for veterans. So we're very excited about that process. And if anybody's gone by there, this project is moving really quick and really exciting. If we look at one of the things that we're really unique at, and that's how comprehensive a regional robotics program we are, bringing new technologies for patients. And our general surgery volume robotically is growing up. GYN oncology program, obviously we haven't had any volume historically with the cardiac surgery. Dr. Larry Shears came in here, and our volume is taking off. And bariatric surgery, we've actually migrated to mostly now only bariatric cases in bariatric. And it's only going to continue to grow. Heart and Lung Institute is really growing. We were able to recruit world-class talent to this community. We are in the process of hiring actually 2 more heart surgeons and expanding that. Innovation, we are going to be one of the first hospitals in the United States to have the ARTIS Pheno. It's a new imaging chain that is coming out and has been FDA approved, and we're probably going to be one of the first in the country. Structural heart program, and we're able to do a lot of things that needed previous surgery and doing them endovascular with our new structural heart program. We are in the process of also building a $16 million Heart and Lung Institute that will be located on the 4th floor, and that is going to have cardiac catheterization labs, new renovated EP lab, hybrid operating rooms, 3 additional cardiac cath labs, and operating rooms, and it is connected with 53 patient rooms. And if you think about it, there are a lot of freestanding little heart hospitals across the country, not with 53 beds. So this is considered nationally a very large-scale Heart and Lung Institute. So we're very excited. The construction is going on. Actually, the biplane just opened up. Erlanger Medical Group and Dr. Jackson's team, we have now at 334 employed doctors. That is an increase of 178% of new employees since 2013. As you look at primary care doctors, we are now at 74, which is an increase of 175%, and it is the largest health system-owned primary care network in the entire region. This past quarterly medical staff meeting was the first medical staff meeting that I didn't personally introduce each person, as the list continues to grow too long. So I'm going to do the same thing here and be brief, but we have added more and more doctors. We also have community physicians that added to our medical staff as well. So we've had some real significant strategic investments here. EROC, the new Starbucks. We're under construction for the future home of state-of-the-art robotic pharmacy. We've expanded the MICU beds by 12. We redid the cafeteria and the kitchen. We've implemented eChart and Epic on the outpatient, and now we're working on the inpatient. We've added a surgical admitting unit, so our transfers don't always have to go and include the ER. Orthopedic Institute was open. We added a new 3 Tesla MRI. We're under construction for the Heart and Lung Institute. John Loescher and his team is developing a freestanding electrical plant that is a cogeneration facility that will not only create our own electricity, but we will reclaim the heat that's caused by that, and we will also heat the hospital from one physical plant. You know, state of the art and setting a trend of a green hospital. Not only financially, but literally. 2017 capital investment. $44.5 million capital investment, and Mr. Haas talked a little about our equity position. We keep building the value of our organization by reinvesting compared to our competition where they send it to different states or to shareholders. All our money gets reinvested back in. Of the capital, eChart, our whole clinical informatics system, represents 74.1% of our capital investment reinvested into quality and patient care and safety. Our 2018 capital budget is an additional $45.8 million, of which $26.3 million is the third phase, and thank God the final phase of the Epic implementation. We've replaced an ineffective software with a state-of-the-art EMR. In May of 2015, this board of directors approved a comprehensive system-wide overhaul of the entire clinical informatics system with Epic. We've hired 100 FTEs just on the implementation. At least the first phase was very successful. Britt and I pray that the second phase will go just as well. We've negotiated a very favorable contract with Epic, a $100 million investment spread mostly over 3 years, and we'll probably have approximately $3 million a year as a trail over that 10-year period. And we've executed a go-live on ambulatory on May 1, and everybody, hold on to your seats, be careful what you wish for. October 29th, we go live inpatient, bing bang, all the facilities. So if you take a step back and you look at since 2015, we've invested a lot of money in capital, and we continue to do that. We've executed a 10-year partnership with the University of Tennessee, and it is a vital program. We've reinvested not only in our partnership with UT, but we've opened up new programs in urology, cardiology, GI, and we work together, the dean and myself and Dr. Jackson, to expand and look at new ways of how we educate physicians into the future. Currently, we have 185 residents and fellows in 11 different residency programs and 4 different fellowship programs, and it only gets stronger over time. We're going to be changing it, which is always different, but our commitment to academic medicine is solid. We've executed a clinical affiliation with Vanderbilt University Medical Center for 2 basic purposes: for clinical integration and for population health. So we work very hard. I've been appointed to the Vanderbilt Affiliated Network Board of Directors, myself and Dr. Jackson, and we work with CEOs and CMOs throughout the state to look at ways of how do we improve population health, lower cost, and improve quality for our state. I mentioned it earlier, we have a partnership that's going to go live January 1 with Cigna, and they are going to issue an Erlanger-only product. They're going to work with the brokers, direct marketing, and they are committed to have Erlanger as the lowest cost provider in the region. And if you look at a market basket between all of the hospitals in this area, one of the things is Erlanger is the lowest cost provider in the entire region. And also there's a shift from West Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, and East Tennessee. Actually, the rates go down, but we are the lowest cost provider in this region, and we're committed to continue that position. If you look at our continued growth, in the local Hamilton County market share, we are the #1 in the local market by a significant difference. But if you look at the regional market, it's dramatically different. We are 37% of the regional market, and it continues to grow. One of the things that we're one of the top revenue growth hospitals in Tennessee. Since 2013, we grew 51%. And that is pretty unprecedented. Even if you look at hospitals across the United States, our growth and our track record of implementing projects and continuing to grow market share is unprecedented. And we continue our commitment to the uncompensated care. We've improved our commercial discharges. As our growth goes up, so does the commercial and the best payers grow as well. Uncompensated care this past year, which you heard at the audit, we hit an all-time record of providing $110 million of uncompensated care to this community. There is not another more charitable organization like Erlanger that provides annually uncompensated medical care. That's not our charges, that's our cost. What it costs us to deliver care, and we gave it out for free, is $110 million. Again, unprecedented. If you look at how efficient is Erlanger operating, there is a national benchmark, FTEs per adjusted occupied bed, and we are probably national best practice. We are currently around 4.6 FTEs per adjusted occupied bed. Some of the for-profits are smaller, but if you compare ourselves to academic, we're probably in the top 5% nationally of the most efficient hospitals nationally. And we have a, yes?
Explain that to me a little more. I don't understand it.
If you look at, maybe Brett can explain it a little better.
Yeah, this particular ratio takes the number of paid FTEs or paid employees that we have on staff and compares that to the number of patients that we are seeing. And so in other words, it's saying that on the average, we have 4.6 employees for every patient that's in the hospital. And so you compare that, so there's a sweet spot of efficiency or effectiveness that you have to do. Obviously, you don't want it at 7 because the cost is just way too high, but you don't want it too low because then the quality is impacted. So that's what Kevin was talking about.
Thank you.
We're also a huge economic impact to this region. We now have 7,200 associates, and we actually cover 15,000 plus lives. And that includes Walden, Sodexo, and UT College of Medicine. And we've hired approximately 1,700 new employees, both clinical and non-clinical. That's a huge economic impact. Erlanger is the largest employer in Chattanooga with a payroll in excess of $452 million. Erlanger attracts new businesses to support our operation to Chattanooga, and Erlanger's local and regional impact approaches $3 billion. Erlanger invested $12.6 million in our associates, implemented nurse raises to be market competitive, and we're leading the pack, funded market adjustments for targeted key positions, and distributed bonuses last year of $400 to all associates. We've invested $1.8 million in professional education for our employees to go to college and other schools, and we increased Erlanger's subsidy for all associates' medical and dental coverage in excess of $1.5 million by not increasing premiums over the last couple of years for our employees. And we've allowed PTO buyback beyond 150 hours. So we're leading the pack in this area. As we look at our market, the healthcare market in our community is flat, but our our admissions grew 9.1%. Overall commercial discharges grew by 3.1%. Our surgical volume experienced exponential growth. Inpatient surgical volumes increased by 11.2%. Outpatient surgeries increased by, Britt?
4%.
4%. Orthopedic inpatient surgeries up by 9.6%, and neurosurgery grew another 9%. Da Vinci procedures, as we're starting to migrate to more minimally invasive surgical procedures, it grew 43.6% this last year, and our overall heart and thoracic procedures are up 50% by the year before. Bariatric procedures, as we added another physician, is up 45.9%. And the emergency department is on record pace. Erlanger East Hospital ER is up 11.5%, and Erlanger North is up 1%. And the physician practices, Erlanger Medical Group, is up 21.8%. So these are record numbers. If you look, this is right off of the last financials. We have an EBITDA margin of $45.2 million. That is spectacular. That is a real testimony that we're generating cash and reinvesting it back into our system. What is Wall Street saying about Erlanger? So we're growing our market share at the expense of our competitors, both whom are owned by national systems. They rated us a Baa2 and upgraded with a positive outlook. Fitch rated us as a BBB+, again an upgrade, with a solid credit profile. So this is what Wall Street is saying about us. Britt and I are headed, and Jack, we're going to the prep meeting, and we have already Fitch's scheduled, and Moody's is in the process of being scheduled. So we have great news to tell Wall Street again. Quality and safety highlights. We've implemented EPIC for quality and patient safety, $100 million invested. Reduced readmissions by 12%. That is a testament to our medical staff and how we change process so we can improve care. We've improved case mix adjusted length of stay by 8%, and we've improved risk-adjusted mortality by 26%. There continues to be much more advances in quality. CLABSIs by 16%, improved CAUTIs by 18%. Beyond local, state, and regional, we have been highlighted in the Delta Sky magazine, and we focused our energy in looking at things that differentiates Erlanger that we're proud to be putting on national magazine. So there are certain things that brought Erlanger to the national news. The accident scene on November 21st, Woodmore bus accident. We had 6 fatalities and 32 crash victims that came here. That's when Governor Haslam and Congressman Fleischman came. We've had a medical staff conference, updated the nation. We also, on July 16th, had the mass shooting at the Naval Reserve, 5 fatalities, 3 shootings, and Iraq really was a national focus as people came here and see how we coordinate pre-hospital care activities with the hospital activities and brought resources to this community that is second to none. Erlanger is a community partner. We have major sponsor of the Ironman. This year we did on September 9th and 10th. We provided a half marathon qualifying event, and Chattanooga was the home of the half marathon world championship on the 24th. And we also, our cardiac team was there at the Ironman, and we had, thank God we didn't need to use it, but ECMO in case someone went in there in full cardiac arrest, and we could put them on ECMO to help save their lives. Erlanger is a community partner with LifeVoice Applied, as we talked about our efforts in Texas and Florida, and now we're prepping to be deployed in Puerto Rico. And we raised $22,000 for the Heroes Run to go toward a fund to memorialize the shooting. We were acknowledged at the UTC football game at this year for what we do for our local teams for sports medicine and always having physicians and athletic trainers on the field. In closing, we focused on top-line growth. We've experienced exponential growth. Our market share has shifted, and our strategy that we've implemented is working. Focused on physician relationships, provided exceptional care, physicians and associates. We focused this year on quality and patient safety, and the results are showing it. Continued investment into community through people and capital, and balanced cash reserves with our investment in capital improvements in our hospital system. And this is world-class, and I have to end by doing this manually.
Program here at Erlanger. One of my favorite things is to see the pet therapy program and to see it in action. We love to see how the healing process really takes place when we bring the pets around. Erlanger relies mostly on our volunteers and our dogs that come here to bring that healing process truly to the patients and their families. I'm Amelia Jones with Volunteer Services here at Erlanger Health System. We love our volunteers. We are over 800 members strong. You will see volunteers throughout the health system at our information desk, greeting patients, pushing patients in wheelchairs, giving directions, visiting patients, reading with kids, playing with kids, running our gift shop, and we'd love for you to join our team. You will always notice our volunteers in their green shirts. Please feel free to go up to them, ask for directions, ask for assistance. They're here to help you any way you need.
Hi, I'm Ryan Fuger with Erlanger's Ambassador Program. We are here to assist you in any way that we can when you come in this hospital, whether that means a wheelchair, finding a patient, or just someone to talk to. We understand that this is a very large facility and things can be a little stressful when you come to a hospital. So anytime that you come here to the hospital and you notice anyone in a black vest, please let us help you. Just come up and ask us if you see us in around, and we'll be glad to assist you in any way we can.
Hi everyone, I'm Chef Jeffrey, and welcome to the Bistro. We're located right here on the first floor by the D elevators, and we have everything you need from breakfast to dinner, even late night. Chick-fil-A, sushi, Subway, mindful food items. It's the place where all of your culinary dreams will come true. Oh, I forgot to mention, in the medical mall, we have Chicken Salad Chick.
There was a lot in there, a lot of really good stuff. I would be remiss because we've been hitting on it for so long. If I didn't point out, looked to me like, and I know Dr. Jackson always likes to hold his cards close to the vest, but it looks like we might be making some progress on the quality stuff. I mean, that's really good. I know you told us when you joined it was going to be years before we saw results, and that to me, everything's awesome. But that we're starting to see some really good stuff. I look forward to seeing more of that and hearing how you're doing that, because that's a Titanic to move.
I appreciate that.
So seeing some movement there is really good to me. Exciting stuff.
Jack, if I could mention one thing, the vignettes at the tail end of the video, the 4 vignettes, we actually have 14 minutes. Jed and his team in marketing have put together, developed 14 minutes of those vignettes, and we'll have them on TVs throughout the organization. So patients in each of the patients' rooms will see those on the TVs, and they will have a better understanding what services that we provide.
And I also just wanted to mention a little thing about Dr. Matt Gibson. He's recently was the Executive Vice President of Business Development and Chief Strategy Officer at East Jefferson Hospital in Louisiana. Matt is a fellow and is board certified by the American College of Healthcare Executives, and hopefully he will be receiving his doctorate from the University of Mississippi in December of this year. He holds a master's degree from the University of Alabama, UAB, and he has a bachelor's degree, which he's very proud of, from Auburn. And welcome to Chattanooga.
Brave man joining in football season, so welcome to town.
Matt is married. He has one child and one on the way, and they have bought a house in North Chattanooga.
Thank you, Mr. Spiegel. Any other board members have any questions about Mr. Spiegel's report? Well, thank you so much. I will, as I always try and do, point out to everyone upcoming committee meetings. Looks like we have a busy October ahead of us. We are going, where are we going? I don't want to get it wrong this time. Are we going upstairs? E-Rock or upstairs? E-Rock? Okay, we're gonna go across the hall to E-Rock for our credentialing conversation. Jennifer, I don't want to just bowl over you. Got anything else for us before we adjourn?
No, thank you. I just wish I could have seen what you were, I listened, I just wish I could have seen it.
Well, I'm sure Greg or Jed or somebody can send you a link, and you can watch all 14 minutes on your next flight.
I would like to do that. Thank you. Jed, please do send me that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And with that, we are adjourned.